Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Why Browns fans should hope the Steelers will remain committed to Kenny Pickett. Jimmy Watkins. Steelers general manager Omar Khan has to be bluffing. He must have an ulterior motive or a hidden agenda. He must be hiding something, or negotiating, or messing with the media when he says Pittsburgh likes its quarterback situation. Because taken at face value, Khan's comments during last week's NFL Scouting Combine paint his proud franchise as content to toil in mediocrity. "I have full faith in Kenny Pickett," Khan said in Indianapolis. "Obviously, there were some issues with the offense, and I'm excited about the impact that Arthur Smith is going to have on him. I know Arthur's very optimistic about Kenny, and I know they've communicated. And we'll see where it goes. We feel really good about him." Really? Really good? Because Pickett's stats to this point suggest he is nobody's version of a long-term answer at quarterback. Over the last 2 seasons, the Steelers starter has ranked no higher than 27th among NFL passers in yards per attempt, 22nd in expected points added, EPA, per play, or 19th in ESPN's QBR. He owns a lower touchdown percentage and has thrown for fewer yards per game than Pittsburgh's 2019 quarterback room, which prominently featured Mason Rudolph and Devlin "Duck" Hodges. Salute to the Quack King. And over the last 10 years, only one quarterback, 2015 Peyton Manning, who posted a 44.2 QBR during the Broncos Super Bowl run that capped his career, has won a playoff game while posting a QBR as low as Pickett's 2-year average, 45.9. Quite the opposite, in fact. If the Steelers remain committed to Pickett next season, I'm saying they are wasting a precious year of TJ Watt, who turns 30 in October. They are disrespecting coach Mike Tomlin, who deserves better than the indignity of squeezing 9 to 10 culture-driven wins from quarterbacks who combined for the same number of touchdown passes last season, 13, that Joe Flacco threw in 5 games with the Browns. And they are encouraging sideline outbursts from wide receiver George Pickens, who might prove himself a star if Pittsburgh's quarterbacks could complete more than combined 14 passes of 20 or more air yards, as they did last season, 30th in the NFL. To be fair, new offensive coordinator Arthur Smith once upgraded former Titans quarterback, and perhaps future Steelers quarterback, Ryan Tannehill from a cast-off in Miami to a functional starter in Tennessee. And Khan did say last week Pittsburgh could add competition to its quarterback room this offseason. "We'll look at every option," Khan said. "Right now we have one guy under contract, that's Kenny Pickett. I feel really good about Kenny, but he knows, and we all know there's going to be competition in the room, and we've always been a team that keeps 3 quarterbacks, and I'd expect that to be the same this year." But in the same breath, Khan praised Pickett again. In the same press conference, he expressed interest in re-signing Rudolph. And in the same league where Justin Fields might be available for mid-round picks this offseason, Khan has to be entertaining a bigger change at quarterback. Full faith in Pickett means trusting a plan that isn't working. It means that Pittsburgh could add another year to the NFL's 9th longest wait for a playoff win, 6 seasons and counting. It doesn't make sense for one of the league's most decorated franchises, which is why it doesn't track as truth when Khan reaffirms his belief in Pickett. The Steelers' general manager must know better. He must know that better options exist. Fields, Kirk Cousins? Somebody? He must have a bigger plan, or else he must have family from Cleveland applauding his patience at quarterback. Bills agree to deal with ex-Steelers QB Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky is headed back to Buffalo. After being released in February by the Pittsburgh Steelers, the former number 2 overall pick has found a new home. Multiple media outlets reporting that Trubisky has agreed to a deal with the Buffalo Bills. Trubisky was in Buffalo in 2021, where he served as Josh Allen's backup for the season, throwing for 43 yards in 6 games. He then found his way to Pittsburgh when he inked a 2-year, $14.25 million deal with the Steelers ahead of the 2022 season. Trubisky would struggle during the 2022 season. He had a 2-5 record as a starter, throwing 8 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. By week 5, he was replaced by rookie Kenny Pickett. Trubisky would find his way onto the field again in 2023, after Pickett injured his ankle against the Arizona Cardinals in Week 13, but it was short-lived. In 2 starts, he went 0-2, throwing for 359 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Trubisky was then replaced by Mason Rudolph, who led the Steelers to a 3-0 record and a playoff berth. In 2017, Trubisky was the number 2 overall pick by the Chicago Bears, and had a 29-21 record before the Bears allowed him to walk in free agency. Source: Mitch Trubisky, released by Steelers, to join Bills. The Buffalo Bills are bringing back a familiar face to the quarterback room, agreeing to terms on a deal with Mitch Trubisky on Wednesday, a source confirmed to ESPN. Trubisky will be in line to back up quarterback Josh Allen once again after doing so in the 2021 season helped lead to an opportunity to compete for a starting role with the Pittsburgh Steelers beginning in 2022. Kyle Allen backed up Allen last season, but is set to hit free agency when it begins next week. Quarterback Shane Buechele, who spent all of last season on the Bills' practice squad, was signed to a reserve/futures contract in January. The reunion comes amidst a day for the Bills that featured a variety of cap-saving moves, including releasing center and captain Mitch Morse. Trubisky played in 6 games with the Bills with just 8 passing attempts and 1 rushing touchdown. Allen has not missed a start since his rookie year in 2018. You have to expect most any quarterbacks going miss 2 to 4 games, General Manager Brandon Beane said last week at the NFL Scouting Combine. We got Trubisky a couple years ago. We had Case Keenum, who had played a lot the year before. Kyle Allen, who's played. We like to try and have someone in there that's got some experience because experience is so key to be able to go in there cold, hadn't got reps all week and go execute. It's very important. Trubisky, 29, was released by the Steelers on February 12, a year after they signed him to a 2-year extension. He faltered as a backup in 2023 and was eventually benched for Mason Rudolph after throwing 3 interceptions and 3 touchdowns during a 3-game stretch while Kenny Pickett recovered from an ankle injury and subsequent surgery. As Rudolph gave the offense a spark, Trubisky dressed as the number 2 quarterback for 2 games and was inactive for the Week 18 victory over the Baltimore Ravens and the wild-card round loss to the Bills. The Steelers initially signed the Chicago Bears' 2017 number 2 overall pick on the first day of the 2022 free agency period before drafting Pickett at number 20 overall a few months later. After a quarterback competition through training camp, Trubisky started the first 4 games of the 2022 season before being replaced by Pickett at halftime of the Week 4 game against the New York Jets to give the stagnant offense a spark. Playing in relief of an injured Pickett, Trubisky appeared in 3 more games that season, going 2-1 in those outings. As a Steeler, Trubisky appeared in 12 games, starting 7 of them. He completed 64.1% of his pass attempts and threw 8 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. For his career, Trubisky has passed for 12,536 yards with 72 touchdowns and 48 interceptions in 69 games, 57 starts. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation Mitch Trubisky? Leave your opinion in the comments.